you've read anything about the automotive industry recently, then you will know that manufacturers around the world have been working full tilt to make that transition from fossil-fueled cars to electric ones. Look, whether you like it or not, it's the future and it's happening. This is the new BMW iX, and it's a very important car because it spearheads BMW's new range of EVs. I mean, yes, there are new models like the X3 based iX3, but this iX has been specifically designed to be electric right from the outset, so it will never be offered as a petrol or a hybrid. So, is this about to take the world by storm? Well, let's find out, shall we? Oh, but before that, subscribe to the Car Bar YouTube channel, click on the bell icon, then you get notifications every time a new video goes live. And if you like this video, thumbs up please. Thanking you. As you may have already noticed, the BMW iX is another large SUV, and that's no surprise because SUVs continue to be flavour of the month, year and decade, thanks to millions of buyers worldwide. The iX will be competing with rivals such as the Audi e-tron, Jaguar I-Pace, Mercedes EQC, as well as the Tesla Model X. And it starts from just under £70,000 here in the UK. That's 10 grand less than the Tesla, but yes, the iX is still quite expensive. Like all electric cars, it does, of course, promise to offer the potential for vastly reduced running costs versus an equivalent petrol or diesel SUV. There are two versions available with different battery sizes and different power outputs, but both have two electric motors and four-wheel drive. So, shall we take a look and see what your 70 grand gets you? Oh, how people laughed when Austin released the Allegro back in 1973 with that Quartic steering wheel. It was like a squared off circular one. It only lasted a couple of years, and then they went back to the traditional round wheel. Round wheels, eh? I'll never catch on. Anyway, BMW have reinvented it for this iX with what they are calling a polygon steering wheel, because count it with me, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 sides. Now, they said that they were inspired by motor racing, and also they said that it enhances the view of the screen behind, which actually is the key thing, because you think in the Allegro they would have had just normal conventional dials, but here we have one long digital dash that just kind of stretches all across the dashboard there. It looks very nice. Now, this low down dash and the lack of transmission tunnel and this floating centre console makes this feel so much more roomy than a BMW X5. And the materials, I mean, look, you've got little metal trim, but the soft leather. I mean, does this feel like a 70 grand car? Yes, I think it does. So on this centre console, you just got volume control, the iDrive controller and the gear selector. Everything else is all controlled within the infotainment display or with voice control. Now, this iX heralds the 8th generation iDrive operating system, which has 20 times more computing power and new features like 5G connection and upgraded sat-nav that remembers your regular journeys. Oh, and different modes like focus for dynamic driving. Now, the BMW's iDrive system is one of the best out there, and it does work most of the time. But I think you know what I'm going to say, and that is that the climate control is hidden within the screen. The thing is I know you can talk to it and you can say, my feet are cold, and it will direct the heat down into the footwell. But when you want to access things like the heated seats and stuff, it's all hidden within the screen, and we all know how distracting screens can be, especially when you're driving. So you get plenty of plush materials, but what about the equipment? Well, there are just two trim levels, Sport and M Sport. The car you see here is in Sport spec, and as standard you get goodies such as 21-inch alloy wheels and 4-zone climate control, as well as an 18-speaker Harman Kardon stereo with some of the speakers integrated into the front headrests. M Sport costs around 3 grand more and gets different wheels, an M Sport design makeover and some upgraded brakes. You can also make the iX your own with a variety of options, which, as usual, you can run through on carbuyer.co.uk. Just head to the website and search for BMW iX. Can't be bothered? All right, I'll save you the trouble. Go for the sport trim. That's the sweet spot. Yeah. Your rear seat passengers will know that they are in something bougie as soon as they sit in here. It's a bit nice. Look at this quilted leather. It's lovely. This is a big boxy SUV. So the roofline is really quite high. The headroom's brilliant. Legroom is fantastic. You can have 6-foot people sat back here, very comfortable. And also, if you draw the short straw and you're sat in the middle seat, it's not too bad because you've got a flat floor. So you're not having to straddle a hump. These seats are very comfortable as well. They're very soft and they're also slightly reclined. So it kind of makes it that little bit more relaxing when you're on long journeys. Now we would, if you could, tick that £3,000 Sky Lounge pack, because then you get the glass panoramic sunroof. Makes it nice and bright in here.
Open the boot lid and the first thing that strikes you is how high the loading lip is, especially compared with the BMW X5. That's because of the rear electric motor that sits beneath. With the rear seats in use, the boot can hold 500 litres, which is good in isolation, but is around 150 litres down on the X5 and around 100 less than the Audi e-tron. There's none of the extra storage that you'll find under the bonnet of the Tesla Model X either. But it's a well-shaped space for your weekly supermarket shopping, and you can fold the 40-20-40 split rear seats electronically via buttons in the boot when you need to carry longer loads. In this configuration, the iX is more of a match for the e-tron. Now, few people tend to consider an electric car because of its towing abilities, but the iX may change that. It's class-leading, don't you know? It has a braked trailer capacity of 2,500 kilograms. That's more than the Tesla or the Audi. And while a heavy trailer is going to harm your range, the same is true when you hitch a trailer to a petrol or a diesel vehicle. Charging the BMW with a caravan on the back might prove a little bit trickier though.
Now, BMW used to describe its cars as the ultimate driving machines. Now, while they don't use that slogan anymore, the ethos still remains. What I can tell you is the BMW iX goes a lot faster in a straight line than most people probably need it to. So both versions of the iX have electric motors in both front and rear axles that combined make 322 brake horsepower in this xDrive 40, which is more than you'll ever need, really. I mean, it does 0 to 62 in 6.1 seconds, which actually, performance-wise, puts it about even with a 6-cylinder petrol or diesel BMW. The xDrive 50, however, is at a whole nother level, because that has 516 brake horsepower, which makes it more powerful than a BMW M3. I mean, the vast reserves of pulling power means it actually feels a lot faster than its 4.6 0 to 62 time. Yeah, from a standing start, the performance is startling. But whichever one you choose, you can very comfortably join onto a motorway and overtake the slower cars. But what is it like when you come off the motorway and onto a twisty-turny B road? Well, luckily, BMW have done an incredible job engineering the iX to be a really rewarding driving experience. Now, the low centre of gravity means that this feels like a really quite agile car, and it feels very well planted for a 2.5-ton SUV. It's very impressive. Now, that sensation is helped by the rear wheel steering that you get in the xDrive 50. That makes it feel like you're driving a smaller car. But even in this xDrive 40, I mean, it's really impressive how engaging this car is to drive. It's very smooth as well, very supple, especially in comfort mode.
The iX is available with either 71 kilowatt-hour or 105.2 kilowatt-hour battery pack, with respective ranges of 257 miles and 380 miles. The latter is particularly impressive because it's around 20 miles further than that of the Tesla Model X long range, but even the entry-level iX's range beats that of the Audi e-tron or the Mercedes EQC. The xDrive 40 gets rapid charging at up to 150 kilowatts. That means a 10-minute plug-in at a public charger can add up to 75 miles of range, or you can take the battery from 10 to 80% in 31 minutes. The xDrive 50 gets faster, 200 kilowatt charging for a 10 to 80% top-up in 40 minutes. Don't forget, it has a larger capacity, hence the longer charging time. Here are the deal makers and deal breakers for the BMW iX. The standard xDrive 40's range of 257 miles will be fine for some, but the xDrive 50's 380 miles is fantastic. It might not be the ultimate driving machine, but the iX is still a very enjoyable car to thread down a country road. The latest version of BMW's iDrive is better than ever, despite our reservations about it incorporating the ventilation controls. A starting price of close to 70 grand makes the iX an expensive proposition, but keen finance deals should help temper the pain.
This iX is crucial to BMW's EV future. So does it pass muster? Well, I can tell you, it absolutely does. The mixture of strong performance, great handling, excellent practicality, low running costs, it's going to get a lot of interest from potential buyers. I know I haven't said anything about the styling up till now. I don't think the Mahusiv kidney grille is going to do it any favours, but if you can get past that, you've got yourself a very lovely large SUV with genuine towing capabilities. If you go for the xDrive 50, I mean, the range on that is so impressive. It's one of the very few EVs you can do a long journey without having to stress about plugging it in. Yeah, not too shabby.
If you enjoyed this video, then why not watch our SUVs playlist or our electric cars playlist? Thanks for watching.